Hi everybody, welcome back to Christian Called Conservative. I know, I'm not in my usual location. I'm actually in Florida visiting my mother. And one thing that I've learned doing YouTube is that you are supposed to be consistent with your uploading. So even though I'm here, I wanted to still make a video and upload it on time like I always have for the past, month and a half I've been doing this. So no excuses, I still wanted to give you a little something. So let me share with you about a conversation that my cousin and I had regarding critical race theory. Basically, he had posted something on his Facebook Messenger and regarding how Juneteenth is now this holiday, but yet teachers won't be able to teach about it. And so basically I was asking what was the correlation between critical race theory and Juneteenth. And so he was getting, in my opinion, getting all upset about my questioning. And I said, look, all I want to know is critical race theory going to attempt to introduce more information on how Black Americans contributed to American history, which is fine. That would be great. I'd be all for it. But you and I both know that is not the case about critical race theory. Now, look, I'm not saying I've been studying critical race theory to understand exactly, word for word where it is, but what I've been hearing and what I've been understanding is that critical race theory is an attempt to introduce the idea that race is in everything that we do, and that white people have this unconscious bias about Black people, and that Black people are being oppressed by white people, and that we have to have the education system kind of bring it down a notch, not make it so hard so that Black people could feel this sense of equality with white people, that they have to make white people say that they have been oppressing Black people, and that Black people just are going to be at the bottom unless they help us out to come up, which that itself is a whole nother video, but I'm really just talking to you about the conversation, like I said, that my cousin and I had. But honestly, it really bothered me. It just bothered my spirit that my cousin, this guy that I grew up with, we lived as children together, and then for him to post something like that, and then for me to just ask a simple question, and I've yet, by the way, to get a response to my question about, is CRT an attempt to introduce more information about how Blacks contributed to American history? Like I said, I'd be all for it, but to say that basically like Juneteenth is pointless because teachers can't teach about it, that's dumb, because you and I both know that teachers have been teaching about slavery forever. So I don't get what his point was. And so you know what? I'm asking you guys, what was his point? Is CRT really an attempt to introduce more information about how Blacks contributed to American history? Let me know, because I could be dead wrong. Because like I said, I'm not the scholar of CRT. It's not like I've been reading up on it for years to come. I mean, apparently it's like 40 years old or whatnot, but really I've only heard about it recently. And so just from what I know, I am against it. I am not going to tell my son that he is oppressed. I am not going to tell people that I care about who happen to be white that they are the oppressor and that they're making my life hard. No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to make excuses for any problems that I'm having, any issues that I'm having. Either I've introduced, or if there's some wrong, then I will take care of it the proper way. I'm not going to blame somebody for something that I contributed to, or something that they never even contributed to. They weren't even around when certain things were happening in my life. I'm not gonna blame them. And I'm really sorry, this is not me boasting, but I'm not oppressed. I mean, granted, I wasn't born in the United States, but I became a United States citizen. My parents didn't speak the language, they learned the language. They became very successful, and they were able to do very fine. I'm not saying they didn't have their problems. I mean, I can recall a time my mother had an issue with the professor when she was going to school in New York, but that didn't mean that she just stopped going to school and the white man made her life hard, or she reported the teacher for the wrong that happened. So this whole idea of CRT and telling our kids that if they're Black, they're oppressed, and if the kids are white, they contributed to the problems that kids are having. No, I'm sorry. And if I find out that my son's school is introducing that, I'm gonna have to be making some serious changes. So anyway, So the other part of this, Juneteenth as a holiday, I don't understand the purpose. I don't get the point. For those of you who don't know, Juneteenth is the celebration when blacks in Texas found out that they had actually been freed 2 years prior. So Abraham Lincoln had signed the Emancipation Proclamation. I forget the year, I'm sorry, but he had signed the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed slaves. However, slaves in Texas didn't know about it until 2 years later, the 19th of June, hence Juneteenth. So it would make more sense to me if the date of the Emancipation Proclamation became a federal holiday. That would make more sense to me. But the date when slaves found out that they were free as a federal holiday, I don't get it. I just feel like it's another attempt to separate. We already have a Independence Day. We have July 4th. That's for all of us, black, brown, Hispanic, white, for us to all celebrate the freedom of America. But I just feel like Juneteenth is now another attempt to separate. We don't need two separate Independence Days, but again, that's my opinion. We're just getting further and further apart. So anyway, so that's really all I wanted to share with you, is just about me and my cousin continuing to, I don't know, I don't want to bump heads with him. I mean, we've always been each other's favorites. I mean, we grew up together, and it's a shame that we can't have a simple conversation. But I guess that's part of what happens when you start having dialogues like this. So anyway, it's a sensitive topic for me, very, very sensitive, but it's okay. Part of the package. That's what I do as a mother. Got to make sure that my kid is not being taught things that is contrary to our beliefs. So anyway, put your comments on the bottom. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if this is informative, if this was interesting, if this was something that I'm completely off. Like I said, I welcome the comments. If I'm wrong, definitely put a link down there so I can read up on how I am wrong. Because like I said, I want to learn. I want to learn with you. So thanks for joining me in South Florida. Hey, who knows? Maybe I'll go find the governor. That'd be really awesome. But I hear he's in St. Augustine today, which is a little hike for me where I am. So who knows? Maybe he'll swing by South Florida. So thank you again for watching Christian Called Conservative. Give me a thumbs up. Put your comments on the bottom and consider subscribing to the channel. And I thank you very much. Let's continue learning. Thank you so much. God bless.